So it's both of those together. And I think I say over and over again, hunting saved my life. Hunting saved my life.
Welcome to the pond behind the house.
Thank you.
Long Beach Harbor.
Long Beach Harbor.
All right.
Beautiful, brother.
Cool.
Yep, fish on.
Cut him loose. Slow to grow, so we let him go.
My name's Major David Pham. I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, to a single mother, raised with an older sister, and just finished up 11 years of service with the Marine Corps.
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, the rumor has it you got your own skull cleaning business.
I don't know if it's called a business quite yet, but
Mine's still not a business.
is yours just in business yet?
No.
Before I go any farther, I want to just stop right here and read you something that David wrote on his Instagram. Loss is not unfamiliar to a Marine infantryman. Over the last 15 years, I've had the privilege and the honor of serving with the most selfless, compassionate, and savage warriors in the armed services. It has been a blessing to just stand on their flanks. However, this blessing does not come without loss, pain, and suffering. A repercussion of combat and war is an ensuing darkness that can consume the mind of a warfighter. The loss of brothers and sisters, the scenes of war-torn lands, and the sight of innocent families ripped apart all linger in the heart of any true combat veteran. Sadly, not all of us got saved. Those are powerful words from a great man. I asked David, would you be willing to share your story with my audience? And he said, anytime, anywhere. So we gathered up, jumped on the boat, and just hit the water for a quick conversation.
I was an instructor at the basic school. So at the basic school, we train lieutenants. So these young college grads come in, they really want to join the Marine Corps. They go the officer route and they're trying to figure out life. And basically you finish your bachelor's and then you go to OCS and you get yelled at for about 10 weeks.
Okay.
And then it's the typical what you notice in the Marine
See
Corps.
if they can break you.
Yeah, they see if you break you.
Yep.
And that's about a 30% attrition rate. And then by the time they get to us, it's almost like a graduate program. And for 6 months, captains come together as a team and we train and mentor these young lieutenants and turn them into leaders, right? And teach them servant leadership and some of the stuff we talked about before, humility, compassion, empathy.
Yeah.
Those are my focus. But on top of that, also how to conduct warfare. I mean, this is
right.
Because
that's the job.
That's the job.
Yeah.
I mean, the Marine Corps is a profession of arms, and our job is basically to find bad guys and get rid of them.
Yeah.
And everything in between, which is helping people, serving the community. I remember when I finished my tour in Afghanistan, you look back and what do we do? And yeah, we got rid of a lot of bad guys, but I think essentially we also built villages, we built wells and schools and took care of a lot of sick people, and that's the in-between stuff that we don't always see.
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff that gets breezed over, right?
Yeah. So I know it's all that, but basically I was teaching in Quantico. By that time, I've been through my combat deployment, and then a couple of other smaller exercises and things overseas, and was selected to go to teach here. And during that time, I didn't realize, how much was still weighing on my heart from combat.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't so much some of the stuff we did; it was more so the loss that I was blessed with. I tell people I'm blessed with loss, and people think I'm nuts, but it's really, I was blessed with loss because what it does is it forges you into a better person, a better man, better woman. But like it made me who I am now.
Brings a whole new appreciation.
It brings,
life.
Yeah. I haven't told this story to many people, but I mean, talking to you and just getting the story out there now. Definitely a God moment and a story for me to kind of praise that aspect of everything because God saved me that day. Sure. So we jumped in the trucks, and because we were getting ambushed, and I jumped in the back seat, and my squad leader jumps in the front seat. But I'm usually the front seat guy because that's where all the radios are. That's where kind of the mission. I need to do my mission control. So I'm like, hey, Sergeant Cheek, we got to switch. So we do a little fire drill. Like I jump out, he jumps out, he jumps into the back seat, and I shut the door on him. And I literally took 2 steps. It was about a 3-foot difference of where I was standing to where everything started happening. And where I was standing was where the grenade hit. So boom, and I played football, so I felt like a lineman crack back me. Like I just, boom, I was like, oh, I can't breathe. So it blows me into the truck, and I'm like going. I'm like adrenaline high, hurting, but still rolling with it.
Right.
And running my radios, and Cheek looks over the chair, and he's like, "Sir, you're bleeding." I'm like, "What?" I look down, and it's just covered, right? I'm still going. I'm like, let's still keep fighting, and we get in a little coil security, repel the ambush, and then my other corpsman runs up, opens the door, legs dripping, and I was like, oh, it's starting to hurt now. like it's starting to hurt.
The shock is wearing off.
I was like, the shock is wearing off. This thing hurts, Ryan. And they pulled me out and assessing me, wrapping me up, and I was like, let's stay in the fight. Let's keep going. So I'm sitting there like, I would have been a detriment to the unit if I stuck around with everybody. So my company commander comes in and is like, hey, Dave, we're gonna get you out of here. One of the worst.
Like, you don't want to go.
No.
I'm not leaving them.
These are my brothers.
Yeah.
Like, it was I know, right? It was like, you know, and the guys you're close with, like, it's almost like leaving one of your brothers, right? You're just like, no, I'm not leaving them.
No.
Especially in this environment. And like, I'm almost in tears. And
there is protocol for that sort of thing, though, right? It's not like there's not like there is a choice.
No, there's no, because I would have been a detriment. They would have been lugging me around.
Sure.
And I would have been trying to control stuff and making probably poor decisions at the time because I'm on morphine.
Sure.
I'm on morphine now. I'm in pain, and I would have been a detriment. And so they caught in my helicopter, picked up all three of us, and took us back. And I remember distinctly the surgeon. I don't know why he asked me, but he was like, "Hey, do you want to stay or you want to go?" Because essentially, whatever procedure he did, there's two options. If they cut out the shrapnel, I'd have to go back to Ramstein and just fly away from the battlefield.
Got it.
If they leave it in there and clean it out, then I can stay in the fight. Yeah, and try to go back to work, right? So I was like, I'm staying, right? So he left it in there. So I still shrapnel on me. Yeah. They kept me in the rear echelon command center though, so at least I was still providing support. Like any of the reports would go through,
what you could
do what I could do. So at that point, I had a cane and I was limping around, and
I can imagine the feeling of wanting to be there and not being there, and how that would overcome the pain that you're experiencing anyway, to where that emotional pain is much harder than the physical pain. And I get. I'm not saying I can relate because obviously I wasn't there, but I know where you're at.
Yeah.
Right. I know where you were at.
You have kids.
Yeah.
You know.
You understand.
It's the same.
You feel kind of helpless in that situation.
Family's family.
Yeah.
And these guys are family, and I know you would do anything for your family and kiddos. This is the same thing. So it's the same emotion. But that's part of being a Marine is on a low tangent, part of being a Marine is building the family. And the reason that we're so successful as a corps is because we build a family before we do any training. And once you begin the training, everything's natural because now you're just next to your brother or your sister. But yeah, so experience all that. I think I was 23 by the time I got back. Like, I don't know. Right? So still young, still processing. And so all that being said, I get back. My brothers start piling up, like these names, and I keep dog tags for them in my truck, and I just read through them every once in a while and remember them. So, by the time I'm 25, like all these deaths are coming together.
It's a lot of living.
It is a lot of living. And then in 2013, my mother, we found out she had leukemia. So combat hardened Dave Pham, like, been to combat, felt like he's seen everything, seen casualties, bandaged up his brother, like done everything. I broke down.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital emergency room in Savannah, Georgia, on the floor next to my mom's bed, in tears. And because you can't overcome that. That's your mother. We fight it for 3 years. And in 2016, I was an instructor back to like this Quantico. My mother passes away in my arms, and I was very blessed to actually be there with her, and my sister was there and I was there, and this strong woman who survived so much.
Right.
And I'm looking at her life and I'm like, man, there's so many people who just waste their lives away, and they're fine. Right. And this woman who just gave so much is going home. But I think that's the key. Like, she went home.
Yes.
So that gave me some peace, but I was still trying to find myself. And I told you I went to Israel to find some peace. There was an organization in Quantico that helped wounded veterans, not just physically overcome things, but mentally and emotionally overcome some of the PTSD that was that lingers. So when you're young, I mean, you don't think you have PTSD. Like, you just did your job.
Right.
And it already told you went to combat, did all this stuff, and then, but it was the compounding loss. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, where it's not some of the other stuff. It's really the loss in my life that kind of drug me down. And I didn't realize how much it drug me down. I was just going, this mission, this is what I had to do, and every day I had a purpose. So it didn't really sink in for a while.
Right.
So I was introduced to this organization. It's called QIMSA, Quantico, Injured Marine, and like, hey, we take you out hunting. This is the first time I've ever been exposed to something like this. And I was like, really? I just show up and you take me out? And I remember like going to Walmart and like buying like real tree, whatever it is. Like, okay, I got to get ready for this, right?
Right. I need all this stuff.
I need all this stuff. Yeah. So I go out here, and you know, and they're very awesome. It was just they put you in a blind with a guide, and what I really found out about it wasn't so much the hunting process, it was the fellowship process as well. So it was both of those together, and I think I say over and over again, hunting saved my life. Hunting saved my life. And my palms are sweating. I was sweating. Like buck fever, you know, you talk about buck fever from a normal person is one thing. For a guy who's kind of
been the far extreme.
Yeah, done the far extreme. I was like, man, buck fever is real, right? So my palms are sweating. I'm like, what is happening? Like I have a gun in my hands, and my heart's racing. It felt like combat. And a lot of my hunting buddies are really humble, and they always try to thank me. I'm like, stop trying to thank me. They're like, hey, you know, I'll never know what you went through. I'm like, no, you do. Like you do. You hunt. I know you probably don't want to hear this too. You hunt and you take care of your brothers and all that. It is the same thing. Right. It is absolutely the same thing. The other aspect that I believe also helped me overcome the adversity and some of the darkness was just gratitude. And I think that if we can instill that in our young people, it'll help out a lot. And you know, it's from like parents, like take your kids to travel, like let them see what third world countries look like. I grew up in the hood. Like I grew up where, you know, there's a struggle, and I was living off Section 8 and food stamps and welfare. And now looking back, I was grateful for that. Right. I was grateful for all the challenges in my life. I'm grateful for all the brothers I've lost. I'm grateful that I had such a good mother that, you know, when she did pass away and you know, she's in a better place now in heaven, that her mark is still on me and my sister and my nieces. For sure. And all of that has got me through a lot. Right. Because now you appreciate every moment. You appreciate all the adversity, and you don't look at it as obstacles. You look at it as opportunities to be better and grow. So if I ask anything young people to do is find gratitude in the smallest things. And I ask, if anything, parents, give your kids these life experiences where they can see what true hardship looks like, so that your kids are grateful.
Yeah, don't just coddle them because you think it's what's best.
No,
because it's definitely not.
No. Yeah.
Give them some struggle. Let them earn it.
Yeah.
Our guide in New Zealand always said, "Do it hard and remember it well."
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go catch us a fish.
Let's go catch a fish. I know. I love this, man. This has been an awesome opportunity, and
appreciate you coming out this way.
If anything, man, the fellowship and the brotherhood today, it's just another stepping stone for me, and making myself a better person, and you know, helping my mental health. Is the more brothers I meet, the more sisters I meet, the healthier I get.
Likewise.
You know. So, awesome, brother. Yeah.
All right,
yeah. Thank you.
Coming out this way.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Let's see if we can go
awesome. Let's catch a fish. Whoop, whoop.
If you would please remove your hat, I'd like to close in prayer. Lord, thank you for David Pham. Thank you for the honorable, courageous, and selfless men and women in the U.S. military. Lord, it is plain to see the consistent message among impactful people. Struggle, hardship, sacrifice, and hard work help give real-life perspective and appreciation for what we have. As David said, gratitude. Lord, thank you for hunting. Thank you for purpose. And thank you for helping us understand that the toughest times in life teach us the most. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.